Victoria's Secret is one of those that I feel the fragrances kind of come and go in their popularity. Right now, I think they're doing a pretty good job. And I have 3 new ones to share with you guys today. My gorgeous ones, welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews of new Victoria's Secret fragrances, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, Victoria's Secret is back on my radar. There was a time where I did not pay attention to anything that they put out because I felt like everything was kind of repetitive. Nothing smelled that original, that unique, or that upscale, I should say. So I ignored them for a bit. There was also a time way back in the day when my signature scent for a couple of months, my freshman year of college, was the Heavenly. Dream Angels Heavenly. Oh yes, I remember it well. Going to the clubs at 18, wearing my Dream Angels Heavenly. It's a little outdated now. Little nostalgia whenever I smell that one for sure, because it was quite a long time ago. But they really came back for me and got on my radar with the Getaway collection this last summer, the Bombshell Getaway. I thought those 3 fragrances were done so beautifully. I think at the time I'm filming this, they are still available on the site. They just had a big sale. My advice too with Victoria's Secret, don't buy them full price. They very often have 40% sales on their fragrances. So wait for the next sale because I think these 3 should still be around. They're brand new. So let's go ahead and get into them. First, I have the Bare Sueded Vanilla. So before this came the OG Bare. I love that fragrance. I was late to the game on that one. I will fully admit. Like I said, they weren't on my radar for a while. So I was ignoring Victoria's Secret. Whenever I loved the Getaways so much, I went ahead and bought the Bare, original Bare in a travel. And I think that is such a pretty kind of skin scent. They only really list, I believe, mandarin and violet leaf and sandalwood in there, but it's a very smooth, elegant, sort of musky skin scent to me that I think can go in any environment, any time of year. That one's addictive to me. It also layers really well. So I loved that. This is the Sueded Vanilla. Bare Sueded Vanilla. And I like this. I like this quite a bit. I don't love the way it sprays. It leaves too much of a residue. It's too wet. It's not a fine mist. It's kind of like a let me douse you. It's not so much my dislike of that isn't really because the scent is overbearing. But I just don't like to get really wet whenever I spray my perfumes. That's just a little gripe that I have with this. But I think this is a lovely vanilla. It does have kind of a suede-like smoothness to it. It doesn't really smell like a super gourmand vanilla or a baker's vanilla. It has more of like a soft, smooth fuzziness to... I am coining this. I don't know if this is a thing yet. Please don't steal this from me, but it's scent texture. I keep bringing up scent texture whenever I'm reviewing fragrances because the more and more I smell, the more fragrances that I smell, it's kind of another added dimension that I have noticed whenever I'm wearing perfumes is there is like a texture to fragrance. And so I think this texture is that suede-like smoothness, and I think it's properly named that way. The sandalwood in here is really smooth. It does not come across pickly, which is a good thing. And you also have some saffron in here that I also like what it's doing in this fragrance quite a bit. And I think it's actually kind of unique because there's a lot of saffrons that come across very medicinal smelling. They can be very sweet. They can kind of be real in your face and take over a fragrance. I think this is very perfectly in the background. I'm almost getting a Palo Santo like quality to this fragrance, even though that's not listed in here. And to me, Palo Santo smells like a very elegant oh my goodness, cinnamon-y. I can speak. I just dyed my hair blonde. I swear I can still speak and I'm still intelligent. Cinnamon-y, like woodiness to it. That's kind of how the saffron is coming across in here. And I think it plays really nicely with what they call a milky vanilla. And even though they're calling it a milky vanilla, I don't think this is like necessarily a lactonic fragrance. And I'm also happy about that, because I feel like if this was really lactonic, it would maybe be a bit redundant, not that unique, because there's so many lactonic vanillas out there right now. As it stands, with that slight kind of spice in the background of the saffron that's very, very subtle, almost gives it a little woody feel with the sandalwood. It's very smooth, and that more suede-like vanilla. I think it's a pretty unique scent that is very, very lovely and very elegant. It doesn't project too well for me, or it doesn't last too long. I will say that. I was hoping that this would be one that I could just kind of spray all over and wear all day long and be able to smell it. And I'm not a huge one that's hung up on longevity of perfumes, but I do just want to point it out because a full, I think 100 ml of this is $80. That's getting up there in price. Once you're at about the $80, I expect something to last a bit better. This one I think it's either 50 or 60, but I got it 40% off. So if you get these 40% off, I don't mind like the 3-hour wear on them. I went and got my hair done today, was wearing this, and I was hoping maybe my hairdresser, who's also my friend, I thought she'd be like, oh, you smell so good. And I realized I couldn't smell it myself either. So I don't think it projects a whole lot, but I do think it's a nice intimate one. Really, really nice for, say, a date night, a cozy day. It's fall appropriate, but I don't think it's too heavy to wear in the heat either. So I think it's a very, very nice addition to the Victoria's Secret lineup. So that is Bare Sueded Vanilla. Real quick, before we move on to these two, I did look it up, and I don't know if I said that this was 30 ml or 50 ml, but this is a 50 ml. And $60, but 40% off. We're looking at a much, much better price there. So 40% off. Now we have the two new pink line fragrances. I just got the travels in these because I wasn't sure. And honestly, I wouldn't mind the full size because these are a little bit cheaper. The travels are cheaper than the Bare line and then the actual bottles. So I believe the 50 ml of these are 40 instead of 60. So $20 cheaper for these. So we have the just Pink by Pink. And this is for my clean apple shampoo floral lovers out there. And I think it's done very, very well. There's quite a few fragrances out there like that. Like there's a few Britney Spears fragrances that kind of land in that fresh herbal essence sort of shampoo-y vibe. But this one I just think is done a little bit better and a little bit more elegantly. This one does have apple in it, and it comes across, I think, very, very well at first. I really get a juicy apple, and you get that jasmine and what they're calling a sparkling cedarwood, and it does kind of smell sparkling. It doesn't necessarily smell fizzy and bubbly like a champagne fragrance quite like that, but it kind of has this as if like you shampoo your hair and then you were to just see like little sparkles of like light in the shampoo from the light. If that had like a scent to it, you get that. So like a slight bubbliness to it that I think is quite lovely. It really does smell shampoo-like though. I just want to reiterate that because not everyone likes a shampoo smell. I like it sometimes. I think it's nice when you just want to smell really fresh. It smells kind of like fresh cut jasmine. They're describing it as a creamy jasmine. I would kind of disagree with that. I don't think this smells like a creamy fragrance. This smells more like a slightly bubbly, a little bit effervescent, clean, soapy, floral apple fragrance. And I think the apple does really play a fun part in this. So if you're into those type of fragrances, I would recommend it. If you're like, I hate shampoo-y smelling, you need to stay away from the regular pink, but I like it. But I really like the Shine by Pink. And I also really like this metallic color here. And the full-size bottle is metallic. Out of the two, I would probably get this one in a full size, I believe. This is one of those that simultaneously smells familiar and unique at the same time. And I know that's very contradictory, but this is a dragon fruit fragrance, and I think that the dragon fruit in this is reminiscent of the dragon fruit in the Ariana Grande Cloud Pink. So it has that element to it. So it's almost going in that direction to smell like that fragrance, but there's something really smooth about the vanilla in this that takes it to a slightly different place. And it's like this fun play between this really tangy, bright fruit with something almost creamy coming in. It's not a super creamy vanilla, but I like the play of the two. And it is sweet and it is fairly linear. This doesn't really change much on the skin. As it comes out, as it stays. Maybe gets a little bit more candied like, possibly. Might have a similarity to Yara Candy as well. But where that one stays very, the amber in Yara Candy kind of keeps it this kind of fizzy strawberry. This one has more of a smooth base to it. So that's what I mean. If it reminds me of some other fragrances. Another one is Boy Smells Rosy Cheeks. That one has some red fruits at the top, like red berries. I think it might have pink pepper or something, but it has red berries at the top. But its base is different. I think it goes into an amber base, whereas this has that vanillic base. So I really like it. I think it's fun. I think it's flirty. I think it's fairly youthful, not the most sophisticated fragrance, but I do think a lot of people would actually like it. And I think $40 for a 50 ml. And then if you were to get it 40% off is a fantastic deal. And I think that the bottle having this metallic lavender is really, really pretty. So I like all three of these. You guys, I've been liking Victoria's Secret. What can I say? I think they're doing a really good job. I think Victoria's Secret does a better job on their perfumes than Bath & Body Works for sure. And then I think Bath & Body Works does a little bit better of a job with their body sprays and their body creams. Love their candles. But as far as perfumes are concerned, it's Victoria's Secret for me. You guys let me know if you have checked these out or if you're planning to. I thank you so much for watching. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.